Sludge Bomb will be taking care of Scrafty Nidoqueen in the back there, Exid. With 7 poison jabs, they throw one more. They're at the Earth Power. I absolutely fucking dare you to throw it. Oh, I didn't fucking think so. But we are not out of the woods yet with a lower defense. These poison jabs are absolutely going to be tearing for us. We are going to have to shield up absolutely everything. You can see our HP is running out, but is this crunch going to be enough to knock out? Well, you're going to have to watch the video to find out. So, Ultra League and Kanto Cup are here. Don't worry, I've got you for that Kanto Cup action as well. The game is fixed. You're going to see fast move inconsistency is not a thing, so I thought, fuck it. We're going to try out my favourite team in the Open Ultra League, which is Shadow Poliwrath, double Dark Poison in the back. I know this team is super strong. However, I got pretty wrecked last time with all the glitches. But today we're back at it, and as I knew, this team is phenomenal. So without any further ado, let's jump into the battles. And in game 1, we pick up the Dream Lead against the Walrus. They say switch into Trevadent. I meet him with Drapion. The opponent builds up to what could be a potential Shadow Ball. Drapion doesn't have to shield unless the opponent wants to start playing the shield game. We overfarm just one before they get to the Seed Bomb. If the opponent shields, I'm more than willing to shield it up, as in the 2 shield. Drapion, the absolute monster that it is going to win this matchup. The opponent is going to start Seed Bombing, which is unfortunate, and you can see we do lose CMP as well, but either way, we're going to win this matchup. The opponent burns the first shield. Let's see if they go for another Seed Bomb. Yes, they do. We've hit the move. There's absolutely no chance they are switching out to catch it on. Anything else, I don't even think their switch timer is up, so this crunch is going to be enough to take care of Trevadent. See you fucking later. Back out comes the Walrus. I don't want to give up switch advantage. This is my second Dark Poison type. Absolutely doesn't want to get EQ, so we're going to chip him with a crunch, and they'll come in to Poliwrath. The opponent is going to throw a Earthquake, and Shadow Poliwrath isn't going to tank it all that well, but we do survive. The opponent now makes the switch out into a Charmer, and this is pretty much G to the G. We are going to throw this Flamethrower. Flamethrower will not care, but it will put them super low. The opponent is going to fire back with a Psy Shock, and obviously I'm not going to shield. We will survive. I'm not even going to bother attacking at this stage. The opponent comes in with the Walrus, but we have the move locked and loaded, and the opponent concedes the match, and we're off to a 1-0 start. GG's, and thanks for playing. Moving on into battle number 2, we see Scrafty in the lead. Pretty great for Poliwrath. However, they normally try and 2-shield the way through this, and the boosted counter damage on our backline is pretty fucking dreadful. We are going for a Scold. The opponents normally shield, and this opponent shits his pants, puts up a shield. We sneak the Mud Shot, which is as the game is intended, and they're firing off Power Up Punch number fucking 2. We are once again now gonna throw the Hail Mary. Does the opponent think we're baiting? Once again, yes they do. So we now switch out into the Skunk, looking to snipe. The opponent does throw, but the Poison Jab registers. They are not going to be able to transfer it, and down goes Mr. Scrafty. The opponent now comes in with a Poison Jab, a Alolan Mock. They must be super weak to Dark or Poison in the back, but guess what? We have Dark Poison type number 2. This isn't a great matchup for Mock. They can only hit us for resisted, whereas we can hit for neutral with Flamethrowers. The opponent lowers our defense with an Acid Spray, but Skuntank makes one more crunch. We're still holding on to 2 shields. The opponent shields up. Now make a switch into Mew, so I am going to fire off 1 crunch, and this is going to land for absolutely huge damage. And guess what, Mr. Opponent? This game is over. I've got 2 shields, and I've got 0 intentions of shielding the first move. They go for a Surf, and that does pretty much fuck all. We are going to make this crunch. Crunch is going to be taking care of Mew. I don't even hit all the bubbles, and you can see now I speed this game up rapidly as the opponent has very kindly left the match. GG's, and thanks for playing. Off to a 2-0 start. Moving on into battle number 3. We pick up a dreadful lead. Defense Deoxys against Poliwrath. I immediately say switch into Drapion. We get a bit of weak connection. You absolutely love to see it. The opponent is staying in, so I am going to fire off 1 crunch, and crunch lands for big damage. The opponent now comes in to Scrafty, but guess what? Scrafty is absolutely not a Drapion count. You can see my IVs on the left. It is a hundo with the Poison Jabs. 2 Sludge Bombs is enough to knock out. We are going to tank this Power Up Punch. Look to build up to the next Sludge Bomb, and this is where you absolutely love the game working as it's intended. I get my move through. I will survive this Power Up Punch. I under tap. We're at the Sludge Bomb. The opponent is now going to be forced to burn a shield or lose switch advantage. The opponent lets it go, and Drapion has put in an absolute shit ton of work. We can now realign our Pokemon. We come in to the Skunk. I may as well start shielding something. So we shield up a Rock Slide, The opponent is staying in. They're going to fire one more rock slide. I'm absolutely going to let this go. It's going to be all about what the opponent has. In the back, they have a Walrus. One dynamic punch isn't enough to KO, so I'm going to chip them with a crunch, make my dip into Poliwrath. We've only got one shield. The opponent has two. We are going for, once again, a Scald, as the opponent is going to be forced to start shielding up. They shield the Scald. I absolutely dare you, once again, to Earthquake me. We call the bait, and bait they do. We aren't quite out of the woods just yet. We are going to have to correctly shield an Earthquake, and this is where I'm going to burn my final shield. The opponent does go for an Earthquake, and I am now going to go for the dynamic punches. Does the opponent want to call the bait? They shield it up, and I am going to outpace to this next dynamic punch. The opponent doesn't catch. Dynamic punch is going to be taken care of the Walrus. Up pops my switch timer. We switch out into the Skunk, and that's all she wrote. GG's, and thanks for playing. Moving on into battle number 4. We see Poliwrath into Talonflame. Not a bad matchup, not the best matchup. Scald doesn't one-shot. We are going straight for it, though, hoping to lower the opponent's attack. We get the attack drop, so I imagine the opponent might Brave Bird and dip, but to my absolute disgust, the opponent throws a bait. I am now looking to get off one more Scald, but the opponent makes a beautiful sack swap into a Psychic type. Scald does some nice chip damage. It's an armoured Mewtwo. Confusion users aren't particularly good against our backline. We go straight for the crunch. Does the opponent want to shield it up? They do not. We get the defense shot and poison thing down before they even make a move. Back out comes Talonflame. They throw a flame charge. We will survive. I'm going to throw 2 poison stings and the crunch, which is the correct timing. You can see no incinerate goes through. Crunch lands for decent damage. The opponent once again is looking to incinerate all the way down, so surely this time we will draw a shield from the opponent, and now they are at 4 incinerates. This is pretty tricky. We come in, we sneak a poison jab. I'm really hoping this time I don't get baited. The opponent throws the bait. Can we poison jab down before taking a move? No, we cannot. This is going to do huge damage. The opponent is making all the baits, and I am getting absolutely run rings around. You hate to see it, but in the back is Giratina. Crunch lands for decent damage. I come in to Poliwrath. This isn't a great matchup on Scald and Dynamic Punch, but hopefully Poliwrath can carry us over the finish line. Scald lands for decent damage. This Giratina, though, is absolutely loaded. Shadow Poliwrath is pretty bulky. We are going to survive this next Dragon Claw. You are going to see that I'm going to get to the move. The opponent is also at the move. I'm going to throw at the absolute last second, allowing absolute minimum farm to the Talonflame. The opponent wanted to Shadow Claw me all the way down and fire a Dragon Claw at my Skunk, but we say fuck that and we win that battle. GG's, and thanks for playing. Moving on into the final battle of the video. Can we clutch out a perfect 5-0? We pick up a neutral lead against Nidoqueen. They do have to be wary of the Scald. We overfarm and the opponent still manages to catch. You hate to see it. Scald lands on Umbreon, but whatever you can do, Mr. Opponent, I can do also. We are going to look to catch the potential Psychic or Last Resort on our Skunk. We catch the Last Resort. This isn't a bad matchup for Skuntank, but obviously we are now chipped with the Last Resort. The opponent outpaces to Last Resort number 2, and now I'm going to look to CMP tie on the foul play. So I'm counting snarls. We fire off this Flamethrower. Flamethrower will not be enough to KO, but it will get the Umbreon super low, and we correctly CMP tie. I'm not willing to shield it up. Instead, I'm going to choose to load up on energy with Drapion. So then I've got 2 Pokemon absolutely loaded. I wait out my timer, come in to the Drapion. The opponent is trying to get to a move, but we Poison Sting all the way down what is in the back. I imagine it is Mr. Scrafty, as Nidoqueen Double Dark is super common. I see a counter come through, and I'm going straight for the Sludge Bomb. 1 Dynamic Punch doesn't knock out, so I am choosing to now catch the Power Up Punch on Poliwrath and bank that crunch for the end game. Power Up Punch lands for respectable damage. I highly doubt Nidoqueen wants to return, as we are loaded. I am going to go for a Scald. Does the opponent call the bait? They do not. We land the Scald. I sneak 1 Mud Shot as is intended. We are going to survive this Power Up Punch. I'm going to go for, once again, a Scald from this range. Scald should knock out anyway. Is the opponent willing to burn their final shield? Yes, they are. Down goes our Poliwrath. We overfarm just a touch. I don't want to get hit with a Power Up Punch. Sludge Bomb will be taken care of Scrafty, and this is where it is going to get tricky. The opponent throws 1 Poison Jab. They're at the Earth Power. I absolutely dare you to Earth Power me, and I did not fucking think so. Drapion is hanging on to 2 shields. I didn't shield it up, so I don't want them to be able to get to 3 Poison Fangs. The opponent is going to fire off a Poison Fang here. I am going to start shielding. We shield up the Poison Fang. Can we survive the Poison Jab? Yes, we can. We make the crunch, but is crunch going to be enough to knock out? Yes, it is. And GG's to that opponent. Thanks for playing. And that is the perfect 5-0. So if you're looking for a strong team to climb with in the Open Ultra League, I highly recommend this team. Poliwrath's a great anti-meta pick. Obviously, it's got a really good matchup against stuff like Walrus, Scrafty, and all the other normal types that you do see. The double Dark Poison is phenomenal. So Poliwrath's role is to take care of the ground types in case you see something like a Swampert or Galarian Stunfisk, and the 2 Dark Poison types in the back have great play against all the top meta picks. It's great to see the game working as intended, so just like to say thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.